We're delighted to have you here. We're especially delighted to have you in the cathedral and always at cathedral events. The Dean or one of his representatives from chapter is the first to give a welcome, so I'm going to ask Rogers if he'll come up.
Good morning, everybody. As Mike said, it's a great pleasure to offer a very warm welcome to you to the cathedral. My name is Rogers Govender, and as Mike said, I'm the Dean here. For the last 8 years or so that I've been here at the cathedral, one of my big ambitions has always been, and I'm very committed to, is to open up the cathedral to the community in a whole variety of ways, not least in our huge dinners and pop concerts, but also for the community to build community cohesion and to contribute to that work in the city. I myself chair the Challenging Hate Forum that Erinma and others from the city, from other faith groups, come to each month. And we're very committed, to building community and addressing issues of community cohesion and violence and so on in our city. Could I just give a little plug to say this? As you know, there's an EDL, an English Defence League march in the city tomorrow, and at 4:30 this afternoon in the cathedral, a number of us, together with local community leaders and politicians and religious leaders, will be meeting in the cathedral for a peace vigil of about half an hour or so, just to, as part of the Hope Not Hate campaign, ahead of the EDL march tomorrow. We try to give a different message to the public about what we're on about and what we stand for. So if anybody is in town and able to join us this afternoon at 4:30, sign the papers for a bit of publicity would be very good. And just to again welcome you very warmly again and say, it's always sort of thing that I've got to say, if you need toilets or whatever, it's down up those double stairs, they're double doors, so toilets are around there. And as Mike said, it's a very informal sort of event. You will find people visiting the cathedral, walking about. Don't be disconcerted by that. Just carry on with our business. And hope we have a good morning together. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Rogers. I'm pleased for a number of reasons that we're here in the cathedral. We did think, knowing the numbers, that we might have been in the regimental chapel, which of course would have had quite a lot of symbolism for a conference to do with peace, but there's enough symbolism anyway. Let me just give you a bit of history. There has been a church on this site since 633. There was a charter granted by Henry V for a collegiate church in 1421. A very important event took place here in 1787, little known about by most Mancunians, but this was the venue for the first ever mass meeting to do with the abolition of the slave trade. Not slavery, but of the slave trade. Thomas Clarkson took part in worship here on a Sunday in October and preached a sermon. And he was a man who, with a group of other activists, had travelled around the ports of England and seen the terrible conditions in which slaves lived as they travelled on the boats. So look that up, any Mancunians. 1940 was a significant date. We took a hit on the cathedral in the Blitz of Manchester, in the far corner of the regimental chapel, which was so severe that the dean of the time wondered if it was worth salvaging the building. We were the second most damaged cathedral after Coventry Cathedral. Echoes of the conflict and peace here. 1996, the cathedral was damaged by the RA bomb. And then on the 1st of March 2003, exactly 10 years ago, the first ever Carisma event took place here, which was a service that brought together the families and friends of people who'd lost principally their sons, their loved ones, in gun crime in Manchester. So it is very fitting that we're here today on the 10th anniversary of that first service, that first event. Very fitting that we're here, as Rogers says, with the English Defence League in the city tomorrow, and this afternoon having the Challenging Hate Forum here, hope, not hate, is the theme, the strapline, and let's bear that in mind as we debate issues today. Now, this event started off in our thinking as a 4-day workshop and seminar, but it became apparent to us that we needed to contract our vision. Well, we were happy to do so, and very happy with the outcome that brings us together, principally for a keynote address from Charles, who I will introduce in a moment, and also for us to launch, for Carisma to launch in the second half of the program our toolkit, which tells the story and the activities, begins to tell the story. It's only part one of the life of Carisma. Can I say some special welcomes? Key TV are here and are going to put something out at 1 o'clock. Welcome to you. Salford University of Salford are here with a team with cameras who are videoing the conference. A special welcome to DCI Debbie Dooley, who is in charge of Excalibur, who will make a contribution in the second part, and to Wasim Chowdhury, Superintendent Wasim Chowdhury, who's representing the Chief Constable. George Ormond is here, our High Sheriff. Very welcome to you, sir. Somewhere, but I haven't met Jenny yet. Jenny Pierce? Jenny, I have met Jenny. I didn't know I'd met Jenny, who's here with a number of students from Bradford University. Now, people have made a lot of effort to be here. We want to get a lot out of the day. You don't want to hear me speaking. So just let me tell you a little bit about Charles, our guest from Melbourne. I'm not going to give you the boring biographical stuff, principally because that's been lost in the ether somewhere. And anyway, we don't want to know when you move from this police station to that police job and all those things. What I can tell you is that Charles is a bundle of fun. He's a great family man. It's not his fault that his wife hails from Liverpool. But that itself says something quite interesting, doesn't it? That comment, when we're talking about peace. Because when does friendly rivalry become something more damaging? I speak as an MU fan. Sorry to you City fans. But there is a difference between rivalry and something more pernicious. He plays the guitar. He tries to sing. He says he sings. His family says he tries to sing. What you're going to hear today is words of wisdom from a man who is passionate about his job in the police department of Victoria State, a man who brings to his job compassion, a man who approaches his job with a listening ear to the community and an understanding of the community. And that is a very particular way of policing, understanding the community's perspective. Tony Lloyd, I was going to say our Member of Parliament, Tony Lloyd, our Police Commissioner, is joining us for the second part, but we will make sure he has a transcript of what you say in this first half. So, with no more ado, over to you, Charles.